Kaizer Chiefs is being carried by youngsters. Abomfundo, Abozwane, Abo Shabalala. Shabalala has been carrying this team or trying to carry this team. And in as much as on one side I'm really happy, like I'm really happy about Umfundo. I love Umfundo. I know you guys know that I love Umfundo because I think he embodies what it means to be a Chiefs player. He's not afraid of the limelight. He's not afraid of picking up his teammates. He's not afraid of the crowd. He's not afraid of the moment. He enjoys it, man. He thrives off of it. So Umfundo and those guys, when they are carrying a team, as much as we are happy, as much as we can see the light sometimes, as much as we are so stoked for them, the other question becomes, are we not stunting their growth and their development? Are we not holding them back? And I mean it in the sense that, you know, sometimes you are so good at something that people think that you don't need to go and build the other things that you need to have in order to become a complete player. So it's a matter of your natural ability, and it's a matter of he's hot right now. And when the hot wears off, or when the natural ability can't get you over the hill, by the time you get there, nobody's thought about the things that Utabo Mnare was speaking about before. Nobody's thought about the boring parts of your game, the addition of the stuff that we need to add on to you so that you can be a more complete player. And then they die. So if you think about Nkosimpile Ngcobo, one of the brightest shining Chiefs players at some point, where is he now? You think about Abo Mashiane, where are they now? You think about all of the other youth players that have come and died and left and whatever, Abo Khatebe, players that were there but never got a chance, but never got intentionally built. And what I want this part of the conversation to be about is the intentionality of the PSL as a whole. I asked the question, are we creating great players, or are we finding really good players and just coasting off of their talents until they die? And the Chiefs one is a very important question. For example, if Shabalala's job is to put Chiefs on his shoulders and go and find things, how much learning is happening at this point of his career? And like, should he have not learned other things at this point of his career? In a grander conversation, do we have places where players are getting better? And not game time, not I'm going to give him X amount of minutes. I mean markedly getting better. There's a handful of places, even for senior players. When you hear about Sundowns and you speak about Sundowns, the one thing you always hear is that, you know, a player arrives at Sundowns, then bampega man. Then you'll find that he was a right back, but now he's a right wing or a right center mid. Abo Sailor, bafike as one thing, now they are something else. Abo Mokwena, bafike as one thing and now they are something else. They are better, they've improved. How many places do we have that improve players? How many teams have set plans for where they want to take each of the players in the squad from here to point A to point B? How many of the teams have that and are serious about it? We speak about our youth. How many teams are planning for the youth? Intentionally planning for the youth. Intentionally going, you know what? He's under 17 now. I sizomthatha simpege. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. And there's a pathway. Umfukeng, for example, might be one of the luckiest youngsters in the league right now, Nabonkota, to find a team that is willing to give them time, but is also willing to put them into a structure that's already there. But even with him, I asked the question, has he markedly improved from this season, to this season from last season, or the season before that?
Sorry to interrupt the video that I'm sure you're enjoying, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support that you guys have shown me and my Overthinking Football platform. I'm a one-man band that's doing all of this, and I really do enjoy the comments about how, you know, Supersport needs to come fetch me and SABC and all of that stuff. And I think it speaks to the quality of the content, but also the amount of effort that I put in. So I just wanted to say thank you. But the truth is that Abu Supersport and all of those guys, yes, we're competing with them, but it's a completely different place. The sponsors are looking for former players, and to be honest with you, running some of these things is getting so difficult, and things have changed at home. So financially, it's a whole different world. So I wanted to try something new and come to the overthinkers, the people who watch the content, and say it would be incredible if you guys could contribute monthly towards the platform, towards keeping my lights on, but also making sure that all of the crazy things that I want to do, that I want to take Supersport on with, I can actually do. And just for 20 Rand every month, I think that would be an incredible contribution if you can make it. It may sound like a little, but if we can get a lot of people behind it, then we'll be able to carry on doing what I do. I'll be able to carry on giving you the content and also expanding it, because we don't have shows like this, and us content creators need help from our audiences. So I just came here to ask you if you can. Here is the account number that you guys can use in order to contribute. And I think, yeah, I'd be very grateful if you would. But anyway, let's get back to the video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
A year is a very long time for a developing youth player. Or are we riding to let Umfukeng find his own ceiling and die off? And I know I'm speaking about the youth players, but I really want to speak about the league as a whole. Because outside of a Sundowns, outside of a Supersport, let's say, outside of maybe a Stellies, there aren't places to develop. And what's scary is that we are recycling half-developed players within the league. We just keep recycling the same half-developed players. No disrespect to the players. I'm not saying you're bad. But if you've never gotten a chance to go to Sundowns, or you've never gotten a chance to go to not Chiefs, to Supersport, or you've never gotten the chance to go overseas, does that mean that your development has now stopped? And now you're a veteran in the league. Spacing, not there. Shooting, not there. Positioning, not there. Temperament, not there. The way you carry yourself, as Utabang Munare put it, not there. And again, no disrespect to those players, but now you sit with a league where Umunare is one of the top players. He's playing for the national team, and he's saying that I got to the France game and I was overwhelmed. And that's a veteran. And that's a guy who will be signed by another team. He was signed, now he plays for his Kukune. And he's going to play for another team, and he's going to play for another team. He may not ever get that chance again to go play versus a France. 90% of the league is not going to get a chance to go and play against the big teams in order for their eyes to be opened, or for them to go and sit under a coach Hugo Bruce, and Hugo Bruce tells them, he told the story before that, no, but guys, you're not ready, basically, or we have to build that thing. 90% of the league is not going to be able to go to Mamelodi Sundowns or Pirates to go play African football, or Stellies to go play African football. So does that mean all of those guys, their careers just stall? And if they don't have the internal willpower to go and fight for that thing, the club doesn't have it either. I don't want to be disrespectful to people who are in the league, because some of them could make very great veterans. But there's some people who are starting now, who are playing now, and you're like, but guys, I don't understand. There's guys who are getting signed in these windows that you're like, you're just an average player. And now our league is filled with it. And now we see, oh, okay, hey, well, it's average people. And I'm not saying that every club has to go and bring me 15, 20 players that they've developed and whatever. But are you intentional with the squads that you have? That it's not just a survival thing. That you also have the good of the players in mind, especially the young ones. How many times did we cry at Kaizer Chiefs that, guys, if you're not going to play the youngsters, can you please let them go and get game time somewhere else? You cannot stall somebody's career on the bench just because Yashisa. Somebody was speaking about the Kaizer Chiefs. Guys, Kaizer Chiefs right now is not a developing team. Not only do they not have the time to develop those players, but the pressure is on. It's sink or swim. I don't have 12 games to give you or 15 games a season to give you where you're finding yourself. But then I was like, it seems to be the same way across the league. Coaches can't keep jobs. Most of them are coaching for their lives. Nine Sundowns. Caruso doesn't have time to be developing people. That whole thing changed. And I want to harken back to one of the stories that I spoke about in one of the previous podcasts where Coach Pitso used to call players in and sit them down and teach them the game. We need more of that. I'm scared for these youngsters that are carrying teams at the expense of their own development. You can even look at it overseas. Think about your Sakas. Think about your Jack Wilshers. Think about guys who are naturally so good that they were put into pole position at their clubs. It never spun up. Think about Abotabang Munar and what he's saying right now. I love that he was honest. What he's saying about, okay, guys, Mina, I got there as a 21-year-old who's playing for one of the biggest clubs. And I learned real football. We need to be more intentional.